What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 21st episode of the Coughy Show. My name is Mike, and I've got Senor Eric with me.
What's going on? Welcome back to our podcast.
He didn't say como estas, so maybe he's
Como
not Senor.
Because people are going to roast me because my Spanish sounds ignorant. I sound like a Karen at La Mesa when I try to speak in Spanish. And I just
gracias.
try not to have any audible recordings and or video recordings of that.
Right.
It's a little loud. We're closing. As always, we're on a weird schedule. So
Yeah, we do things at random.
So
she's back here banging shit around.
She's going to mop, luckily, in the middle of our blizzard, as they'd call it.
What?
Nothing, Sochi. We're just talking about you banging things in the middle of us recording.
Oh, I'm sorry, my being distracted.
Yeah, tell our customers and podcast listeners sorry.
Oh, my bad.
No,
I thought you
it's
guys were
okay.
just, like, talking. My bad.
Yeah, this is what we just talk.
Yeah,
Always
pretty much.
mop.
No, you're fine. Do your thing.
Yeah, we told
That's
them
okay.
that you're mopping. You might as well just keep going
Yeah,
through it.
everybody
We
already knows
told
what you're
them.
doing. Now you just look like you're not doing it.
Well, let me finish.
So our first article here is from, I guess we should say, we got a bunch of new flavors of
Puff bars.
Puff bars in. What are we up to now? 19?
20. We
20.
have 20 flavors.
20 of what? 23?
25, I think,
25.
total. With
They keep adding them, but
the weird ones.
I'm not sure about that clear flavor.
Yeah, I mean, it's
who wants to vape nothing?
just nicotine.
I guess, well...
I guess you get the fix, if you're tired of...
Right. Because those flavors,
flavors.
I would get burned out on those flavors.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, I tell everybody, hey, if you buy all 20 of them, I'll give you 20% off. It's $179. You can taste the rainbow and have one of every puff bar that we have.
There you go. Taste the rainbow.
I tell them, you're going to be the coolest kid in your frat, the coolest kid in your dorm. You're going to be the kid that actually bought 20 puff bars.
Adult.
saying.
They're going to be the adult.
Adult. I feel like anybody that isn't my age is a child for some reason.
Right.
So
Eric's a grown man. What are you, coming up on 50 now?
yeah, pretty much. I like to be in bed by 8:30. Got to take my fiber supplements every day. It's a rough
Right.
life.
Some girl was making fun of me for doing fiber supplements the other day.
Fuck, fiber gummies? I'm like, that's a snack. That's breaking my fast for the day.
Oh, shit. So, our first article here is from WKYT. The FDA introduced a bill that would recognize CBD as a dietary supplement finally. So, we've talked about that before. We can't really market CBD as a dietary supplement, which is kind of what it fits into. So the bill was introduced by a member of the House Agricultural Committee, would loosen the reins and allow some products to be marketed as dietary supplements. Many shops go around the rule currently by stating what customers use the products for and letting testimonials of customers' use sell the product. So, I mean, that's what we do here. We say, we have a customer that comes in for this. It works great for them. We can't necessarily say that it's going to do the same for you. Just like ingesting any other herb or medicine, it's going to affect everybody a little differently.
Yeah, like always consult your doctor and, try everything. And, like you said, we have pretty good people that use the same things consistently for something. So I'm like, shit, if that's what you want, that might...
Right, and we're not just talking about people who are friends and family. I mean, my one of my go-to guys is always the older guy that comes in once a month for the 5,000 milligram CBD, and he claims that he was going to the pain clinic and using Oxycontin or Oxycodone, one of those two, and he says that this is working better for him than that, and he doesn't have that same drowsiness.
Yeah, and we have the lady that goes live every time, too. She always goes live to show off the new
Yeah.
stuff, and then for, 2 or 3 weeks after, every day, you see somebody that's like, oh, this is my friend, I saw my friend live, and I'm just like, cool, that's real, that's from the source, that it works for them.
Yeah,
so.
we don't pay these people to do anything, we don't tell them to do anything, they just feel that the products work so good that they want to tell their friends and family about it.
Yeah, that's true. And it works. Especially like hemp bombs. I mean, that's a brand that a lot of people don't fuck with, but that's one of them that every single time,
That's
people
so
try
popular,
them, and you give them to your mom and your aunt, and everybody gets this great sleep, and then all week long, people are like, wow, I can't stop. Like, oh, trust me, I know, I take them too.
So interested parties may present the agency with an evidence that they think has bearing on the issue, said the FDA on their website. Our continuing review of information that has been submitted thus far has not caused us to change our conclusions. So it sounds like they're getting a lot of feedback on it, but I guess the feedback isn't persuading them enough to get off their high horse.
At least at the end of the day, they're taking the feedback.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, at least they're receptive, but I kind of like to see them do something with it.
Yeah, like make the change. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Right. So if the bill were to pass, it would call for a separate study to be conducted by the U.S. Department of Agriculture on other barriers that farmers and store owners face when working to market and sell their products.
Yeah. Facebook, let us have an ad.
Gotta love the government,
If the FDA will consider it, can Facebook please give us an ad?
Well, at the end of the day, Facebook and Google and all those guys are private companies, so it's kind of like up to their discretion what they want to do. I mean, just like anything else, guns, tobacco, alcohol
Marijuana
are completely legal, regulated products. And, I mean, guns specifically, let's say guns, because guns have been, widely accepted in the U.S. for fucking ever. I mean, we were founded on our guns. So, they won't let you advertise that. So, it really comes down to them being private companies and them allowing what they want to allow. As dumb as I think that is, it is what it is.
People are going to think we're crazy. That's 2 weeks in a row talking about guns. People are going to be like, what is this new podcast?
Right. We like guns, motherfucker.
Right. Guns and CBD. Chill you out and hype you up. It's a new decade, new us.
We like to get chill and go to the shooting range.
Yeah, I wish. Big old red X right above the door when that happens.
Right. So the next article is from newatlas.com. There was a new trial studying CBD use for anxiety, tremors, and Parkinson's disease. So the most well-known research therapeutic use for CBD is in treating epileptic seizures. In 2008, a pharmaceutical formulation of CBD called Epidiolex became the first cannabis-derived medication to be approved by the FDA. The drug was approved with a very narrow remit to treat 2 rare forms of epilepsy. So it's funny to me that they still consider like all other CBD products to be bad in some way.
But that one is good.
The one that they got paid millions of dollars to approve is somehow okay.
Right. And whoever owns it, I'm sure is just making a killing.
Oh, yeah.
Because imagine what the upcharge is on a drug that's intended to treat 2 specific types of seizures. You know what I mean? It's not Tylenol. You're not selling it to 100 million people a year. You're selling it to this percentile of people that it will actually help, because you can say that. The FDA said it's okay, so it helps them and works. But because it's only that one, everything else still is, we don't know. We don't see any difference. What's the difference in it?
Right.
What's the difference in that CBD to any other CBD that you would buy anywhere with the exception of a gas station?
And I'm pretty positive that it's still plant derived CBD. It's not I can't think of the specific word, but they've been synthetic cannabinoids.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a lady that's tried that before and said it was horrible. I mean, kratom's a better fix than like the synthetic weed that they gave her.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She hated so much. She's like, I can't use real weed. I could maybe do the drops, but they give me the fake stuff that just makes me sick to my stomach all day long. And I'm gonna spend all this money on kratom instead because it actually works and I don't get sick. Like that's just such a backwards mentality. I mean, yeah, cool, kratom, it works for a lot of people, but
right. But the government shouldn't be selling us stuff that makes us sick.
Exactly, in place of medication.
Yeah, shit that somebody could grow at their house and it's not gonna make them sick.
Right, and especially, I mean, it's cool to see it with Parkinson's because a lot of people have seen Parkinson's videos, people in the middle of seizures and shaking and the tremors.
Right.
That will use CBD oils and marijuana and then actually stop. You can see the progression of like, okay, it calms it down. Right. It's like, go for Parkinson's.
My favorites are the dogs because you see them drop them into a dog's mouth mid seizure, and 10-15 seconds later the dog stopped, and it's like, well, the dog can't really fake it.
Yeah, he's just feeling like the dog has not been coached. And then who was it? Who's the big one with Parkinson's? What celebrity? That's the only reason I know what it was.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox. That's the only reason that I ever really knew what Parkinson's was him talking about having it and what it's like to live. So I'm like, shit, imagine, the quality of life that could provide people that unfortunately are, diagnosed or carrying a Parkinson's. I don't really know how it's acquired, but I'm guessing it's genetic.
Yeah, I'm not positive on that.
Somebody that knows, add us below. Swipe up. Can we?
Swipe
I
up.
wish we had a swipe up. If all of you would follow us on Instagram and get us to 10,000, we could
Is that what it
actually.
takes?
Yeah, we have to have 10,000 real followers. So please don't bot us because
Interesting.
those people suck.
Right.
And we can have swipe ups on our Instagram story.
Funny, I didn't know that's what it took.
Yep. Only
Thought we had to be
10,000.
verified.
No, only 10,000, and then
Okay. Get us to 10K. Stop slacking.
Yeah, for real, guys.
So one of the more well-researched therapeutic uses for CBD relates to its impressive anti-anxiety qualities. Heightened anxiety is one of the major non-motor symptoms often seen in patients suffering from Parkinson's disease, and a new study from a team of Brazilian scientists is reporting results from the first randomized placebo-controlled clinical trial exploring the effects of CBD on anxiety in Parkinson's patients. So the quote here says, CBD modulates brain regions related to stress and anxiety, explains Diane de Morai Fabrico, corresponding author of the new research. A neuroimaging study of healthy subjects showed that CBD reduces the effectiveness of the connection between the anterior cingulate cortex and the amygdala during the processing of stimuli that include fear-expressing facial expressions. These observations suggest that CBD may be an alternative treatment for PD and anxiety patients.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I mean, it's a new decade. It'd be nice to see, something like Parkinson's just gone, just eradicated,
Right.
treated, cured, whatever you want to call it.
Right. By something natural.
Yeah, that's not.
It's not going to cause any other side effects.
So you don't have to charge somebody $10,000 a month for.
Right.
Or, you know
Again,
what I
you
mean?
can grow it in your house.
Make them go to Canada and pick it up because they don't have health care. Yeah, it's nice. It'll be cool to see. I wonder if hopefully we can see sometime soon what the follow-up to this would be.
Right.
What do you think? What do you really feel, all you fancy doctors that went to school?
Oh, you fancy doctors. Well, I think it's not the doctors that are stifling it. It's they're being stifled by the government because they can't tell anybody that's going to help them.
Hopefully this will be the year to change that.
Right. So the new study set out to more specifically hone in the effect of CBD on anxiety and Parkinson's, and whether CBD can reduce tremors that are induced by anxiety-inducing situations. The trial recruited 24 Parkinson's patients. Each subject received a 300 milligram dose of CBD or a placebo, and 90 minutes later took part in a simulated public speaking test. I would fuck that up.
Oh, yeah.
Without Parkinson's, I'm going to fuck that up. I don't want to speak in public.
Horrible. I remember having to speak to my class at 20. You imagine just strangers
Right.
that you've never seen these people in your life.
Picture everybody naked.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that. I
feel like I'm naked.
Yeah, I did real quick. God, that's just mortifying. That's something, a nightmares right there. Public speaking.
Right.
Hence the reason that you catch us behind a microphone. Not Mike. Mike likes to be on camera and do public speaking. I like to be behind the microphone on the other end of things because realistically we could always edit parts out, which is nice.
You have to force yourself to do that stuff because, had you asked me, a year or two ago, would I've been on the news this year, or last year, I guess, I've been like, no, fuck no, I'm not getting in front of no camera. I'm cool.
Now we did what did we finish? 4 or 5 I think we had last year. Some that you guys never even seen.
Right. I think I did 3 last year and 1 this year.
Oh, maybe that's
Was there
why.
1 this year?
Shit, I don't fucking know.
It was within the last
honestly.
month. I don't fucking know.
It's been such a January.
Yeah, because it was the
21.
Yeah, FDA talking about.
So that would have been maybe
late December.
Yeah, because we were only 21 for 21 hours.
Right.
So yeah, that had to be December. Yeah, not a bad year. Lots of SPSTs for you then.
Lots of SPSTs. Sweaty armpits.
Yeah.
So unsurprisingly, this trial revealed that CBD notably reduced the anxiety induced by SPST. That's the abbreviation for simulated public speaking test. Perhaps more importantly, however, the treatment also reduced the amplitude of tremors induced by the anxiety test. So the quote here says, our study was the first to demonstrate the axioloctic effects of CBD in PD patients and its ability to attenuate tremor, amplitude, and anxiogenic situations. I'm sorry, I'm not good with these medical terms. I'm trying here.
Anxiolytic, I think, maybe.
I don't know. So it goes on to say that it is important that future studies evaluate the effects of different doses of CBD on signs and symptoms of anxiety in this population. That's one thing we really need to get dialed in, is like actual dosing.
Yeah.
Just telling people to just, try a few drops and add a few more drops if you need to. I mean, it works, but people shouldn't necessarily have to do trial and error. They should be able to buy a bottle and it says, take this much, don't take more than this much, just like anything else that people buy.
I mean, especially when you see it so much and you sell it every day and so many people buy it and you just talk about it, it's hard to say, just do a little bit of this or a little bit of that, try here, because it's more like uneducated than it is to actually like help people, because they're saying, you could do this, you could do that, you might like this, you might like that, but it'd be nicer to say, because a typical human, grown adult, 33 milligrams is a pretty big number that a lot of people use. 30 to 33, that's a normal day dose.
Right.
But then, you get people that take 100 milligrams a day and they live by that.
Right. But again, you wouldn't want to necessarily start your 6-year-old out at 33 milligrams.
Exactly.
Then again, it's not going to hurt them, but there's no point in making them develop a tolerance faster.
Especially with, like, if you're hoping for long-term effects.
Right.
It wouldn't be worth it to start that high and burn yourself out in 6 months to the point where you couldn't afford it because you need 5,000 milligrams every 30 days.
So our next article is from Fox Business.
Fox.
Ironically, it's Fox reporting on the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
This might be a little older than most of our... we got some older listeners, but Dukes of Hazzard was a show from, I want to say, the 80s, but it's probably older than that. What's the name of the car?
79 to 85.
What's the name of the car?
Oh, fuck, don't ask me. People are going to
The General Lee.
I remember him jumping in and out of the windows all the time. Why the doors were welded shut.
Yep, they just dive into the windows.
God, guys.
Them
Fox
Duke boys.
News, Dukes of Hazzard. This is...
Right. I swear we're not those people.
Yeah, we'll be back the next week with a new format that isn't this white.
That isn't this white.
White in Nebraska doesn't get any more. We'll talk about NASCAR next week. I'm sure a NASCAR driver's got a CBD line by now.
Too funny. Ironically, he got involved with the CBD line because his wife came down with stage 4 cancer, and he's been using it to help her. So, as you mentioned, Alicia Elaine, wife of John Schneider, known for his role as Bo Duke on The Dukes of Hazzard, that aired on CBS from 1979 to 1985. So, even before I was born, and I'm probably the oldest one around here.
God, that was a decade before I was born.
Right. So she claims that CBD helped her cure her stage 4 cancer. She has the HER2 negative hormone receptor positive cancer. Elaine told Fox Business Stuart Varney on Friday that the cancer was found on her legs, arms, rib cage, and spine. Schneider said he launched the Yeehaw CBD oil brand, CBOD, in allusion to his character to help battle the sickness. Schneider believes the CBD made his wife more receptive to medication and dietary changes and aided in making her body more aggressive at fighting it. I'm not really a fan of the Yeehaw name. Yeah. I feel like I understand the marketing aspect of it, but it comes down to it's supposed to be like a healthy supplement. So,
your brand is Yeehaw.
Yeah.
And your product is called CBOD.
Right.
Like
that's too hard on the brain.
Yeah, it's just like at that point it becomes a novelty.
Exactly.
And not something that you'd say, yeah, that's worth it. That's actually worth, trying, buy that, test this product. Because it's almost like, it's like funny. Oh, I wanted to buy something for my dad. Get him the Yeehaw.
But at the same time, with what you just said, something like this may be a good way for older people to get into it, specifically because this guy is marketing it.
True.
As dumb as it is,
that could make somebody want to buy it because of the fact that
Yeah, just
I don't
because
know.
his name is on it.
SIBO do or SIBO D, whatever you want. That's clever, but yeehaw is just
Yeah, it's taking a little
it's a
far.
little more like, bro. Like, where do you
The
live?
SIBO
Do you
D's a
live
good
in?
play.
Do
Yeah.
you live in LA? Like, have you ever did you actually ever go south in your life? It was a TV show, fam.
So while CBD isn't the cure for cancer, Schneider believes it can be used as a method of getting your body ready for battle. Within 5 months, Elaine was cancer-free. Fight it, he said. It's not a battle you lost when you hear you have cancer. You can fight it. You must be active. You must be your own biggest fan. And I think that's an important aspect to the cancer stuff, too, is like, I can't imagine being on the end of, like, you actually receiving that news that you have cancer, but I've had multiple family members that have had cancer and have died from cancer. You get that news as a secondary person. You're like, all right, well, that person's gone.
Yeah,
they got cancer. It's over.
That's the assumption.
Yeah. So I think part of it is your mindset. I think your mindset plays a big part in that.
Willpower. Yeah, it definitely. I mean,
Yeah, don't give up.
in any aspect, no matter how people believe it, I'm like, you got to manifest like good energy. You can't be a negative person and expect positive things to happen. I'm like, you got to just
Eric's about to start burning sage in
chug
here.
through it. I wish. If anybody's got the plug on some sage, take my line. Our
shit.
ghost could use, a little break
Our
and
ghost.
chill. It's haunted. Mike doesn't accept it. Someday he's going to see it, but it's okay.
See, and this is manifesting. So I don't believe in that stuff. So that stuff doesn't exist. But Eric believes in it, and stuff falls off shelves, and
Yeah.
the floor doesn't get swept, and the ghost put dirt on the floor. No, I'm just fucking.
That's why those piles stay. He
Shit.
claps in the hallway and people never hear it. It sound like someone's getting their cheeks clapped all the time, and nobody ever knows what. I don't know. It's a strange echo that we hear back there in this empty building.
Let the ghost get it in. Let him do his
Right,
thing.
live his life.
So our last article here is from woodtv.com. This is a bill to remove the veterinarian gag rule on CBD. So veterinarians are currently prohibited from suggesting CBD or THC products for pets under threat of losing their license. And I've personally experienced this firsthand with multiple vets. They definitely have an interest in the product because, every time I take my dogs to the vets, they ask what my dogs are currently on, and I'm like, well, a mix of CBD and THC.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. What's it, how do you feel like it's helping and stuff like that? And, Callie's the one with cancer, so that was where it originally stemmed from. And
God, how long has it been now with even
She's-
Callie? How long have you had her on CBD? 3 years?
3 years, yeah, and I haven't had another tumor pop up
Yeah.
since then, because as soon as I heard she had cancer, I was like, all right, CBD, THC, here you go.
Here we go. Let's start. We're going to do it our way.
Yep. And because they wanted me to give her Imodium and Benadryl on a daily regimen. And
What is Imodium? That's what I know.
Imodium is like I'm sorry, it wasn't Imodium, it was Pepsid AC. So it's like for it's your stomach. What's it called when you get the little burn in your throat?
Like acid reflux?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Tums and Pepto-Bismol. It's kind of all that same stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's just a
yeah,
weird.
I don't want to give my dogs drugs.
Well, and then Benadryl
Daily.
too, because
It's kind of sedative effect.
Yeah, you want your dog to be, your dog. Obviously feel better, but like you don't want like a lethargic dog. That's
Right.
how I used to date a girl that traveled. She'd give her dog Benadryl to like sleep, because it was little, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I get why, like when you'd fly with a little dog,
Yeah.
but that little motherfucker would be fucked up afterwards. And I'm like, man, your dog is just really in here high on Benadryl.
Right.
Just
Let
like
your dog stay with
barking
somebody.
at the ceiling fan because it doesn't
Barking at the
understand what's
ceiling
going on.
fan.
It's never looked up before.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend Benadryl ever. I have a cool vet. I'm hoping someday she'll do CBD because she does like acupuncture and she tries to do like more holistic, like turmeric
Right.
for inflammation.
But again, they can do all that stuff without fear of losing their license. They currently can't do this without losing their license. And the quote here says, when the kid behind the gas station can talk more about CBD than your pet's vet can, there's something wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Yeah, and I mean, most of these kids at the gas stations don't even know shit about CBD.
Right? They're just knowing.
I bet like 90% of these kids are making some kind of medical claims at the gas station.
Oh yeah,
it's used to help you with your anxiety. It's used to help you with your cancer. It's used to help you with this and that. Like, they don't know. They don't care.
Well, yeah, because and a lot of it too is either them not caring is like, what do? At work, you sit there and you probably fucking read the box all day, and the package says great for mood boost, energy, calm, and then you just start to tell yourself, oh, I see this box every day, but people buy them, they like them, and then you really think, they're buying them every day, it must help your mood. Yeah, this is great for your mood.
Yep.
You're in a bad mood, try these gummies, give it an hour, take one more.
So,
it's a silly rule. And we've seen, how many articles have we talked about where they say CBD helps pets? A lot of people are using it. If you get good CBD, a lot of people say, hey, it's great for me. We use it. You do, I do.
Yeah, I
think Russell still even does. I'm not sure.
For Dora?
Yeah. I think so.
But, fully activated, that's kind of like their mission. That's why they got into the stuff. And, he gives his dogs CBD, so full spectrum CBD, as well as a number of other different supplements at every meal. So these dogs literally get like 8 or 9 supplements mixed into every meal, and they tear it up.
Yeah.
But he's actually working on another product that would be a formulation of all those herbs or supplements together.
Yeah.
So that somebody doesn't have to just mix all this stuff together.
Like a multivitamin.
Right.
Yeah.
Targeted towards dogs that have cancer. Because I want to say he has another dog with cancer at the moment.
Yeah, that'd be dope. And I'm sure that you could have proteins and all anything to it too if you're doing a supplement. Fish oil for the fur.
Fish oil is one of the things he puts in there.
Yeah, fish oil is always good for dogs for their coat. They say. I've never used it. Honestly, the German Shepherds roll around in mud. They don't really care, and the little one would need it. So, not a big difference, but that's dope. Yeah, I could see that. Fully Activated has good dog treats too. They do good gluten, and they're clean, and they're not filled with fucking peanut butter. Everyone just slaps a bunch of peanut butter and all that sugar.
Right.
It's not worth it. You gotta use good quality, and then it'll help.
So the quote here says, "We got her on CBD and it's completely changed her life," said Chauncey Pierce, whose Chihuahua pug mix Lucy was a rescue dog that had social anxiety and epilepsy, leading to repeated long seizures daily. Her vet was not allowed to suggest CBD. She can go in public now. She is not overwhelmed with everything around her. Like the fact that she's here right now was completely unheard of a year ago. It just wouldn't have happened," Pierce said. That's pretty common.
Yeah, tends to be what we hear. If you dose it right and you get a good product, it usually does wonders for pets.
Right. So earlier this month, a bill was introduced into the House of Representatives that would allow vets to recommend CBD products if they choose. Dr. Jeff Powers, a vet on Beaver Island and former president of the Michigan Veterinary Medical Association, testified this week before the Agricultural Committee advocating for this change. His quote here says, "I've had a number of cases where my clients have had remarkable results, as well as I have used it on my own pets." He said pets were left out of Michigan's medical marijuana legislation as an oversight, and that needs to be addressed. Powers said that while CBD is not a cure-all, it is a tool for vets who would be able to help with getting the best and safest products and prescribed dosages.
Yeah, you should, even if vets don't go to it yet, and it's not a first instinct choice to go to that, at least it's an option.
It's an option.
Give them that choice.
And like I said, the 2 or 3 vets that I've talked about it with are definitely interested, and they're taking notes on all the, just like this guy, they're taking notes on the feedback that you're giving them, and I'm sure they're trying it on their own pets. I'm not going to name which one, but one of my vets was talking about coming down here and getting CBD and recommending it to her customers. Because she can't recommend CBD for specific things, but she could say, the same thing we do. People I know have tried this, and it's working. You could try it yourself. Here's a place that you can go get it.
Right. Try it, see what you think. If you like it, you like it. If not,
Yeah, you tried it.
Exactly.
Just like you tried the trash that they gave you and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's wild.
All right, that's all we got for this week. We'll talk to you guys again next week.
Have a good one.